Hello and welcome back to episode 300 of Podcasting as Praxis.
Three fucking...
My pronouns are he and him.
I'm Jamie, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Rob, mine he and him.
And I'm Alistair, my pronouns are Gerard and Butler.
Yeah, so obviously what we're going to do tonight is discuss the American election results
You've been
in depth.
talking about it. All of you have been talking about it on the Discord, on the Blue Sky, on Twitter. You've been just shouting it from the rooftops. Talk about Lyndon LaPlante's killing air. Talk about Lyndon LaPlante's killing air. And we've simply had to acquiesce because of the deluge of emails that David's been getting.
Yeah, you can stop now, thank you.
Yeah,
nice. I like the way you said the Blue Sky there. That was very grandma on Facebook of you.
This is a film about going on the computer, so it's only right that
exactly.
reference the Blue Sky.
The film. It was a highly acclaimed miniseries.
All right, okay, mini-series. Pretend every time I say film from now on, it's mini-series.
I nearly spat my fisherman's friend out there.
Oh no, it was Lost at Sea.
All the best miniseries are 2 to 4 episodes long, and by 2 to 4 episodes, I mean the same series is 2 to 4 episodes long, depending on where you've seen it.
Yeah.
The worst ones are somehow 2 episodes, but like 5.5 hours long.
Oh jeez, I mean they feel like 5.5 hours. That's for sure. Like.
I'm sorry, it was. Like, my perception of time is absolute, and it was 5.5 hours.
Yeah, yeah. The undiagnosed ADHD person's perception of time is the accurate one.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't actually think we were going to do, like, you know, fucking Jerry Race Wars Spartan fascism riot. Like, come on now.
Yeah, although mercifully shorter, it would have been more boring an episode, probably, so...
Yeah.
The problem is we'll never know.
At least this was boring in a weird way. Or should I say weird in a boring way? Maybe that's more accurate.
Both.
It's 90s in a 90s way.
Yeah.
A film
extremely 90s, yeah.
A film that could have been undercut entirely by sending a copy of Blizzard's Diablo game released in 1997 in the post. Oh well, I guess we have to play Evil Mist instead for 3 hours.
Or I say Night Trap once again.
Shite trap, more like.
Hey,
Well, before we can even get into FMV Fuckboy, we need to get through the Fuckboy part of it because
there's so much of it.
I'm sorry if you think
there's 50 minutes.
I'm sorry if you think this is a fake out. By the way, like we are talking about Killer Net. Like, there is no salvation from this point on.
Yeah, you got into your Leonidas cosplay for no reason whatsoever.
This spends probably about an hour setting up the backdrop.
Just how much students love to fuck.
Yeah. It's like if you put the young ones at one end of it and Skins at the other. This is the Animorphs bit in the middle. It looks awful. And it is. It's an abomination.
Yeah.
The 90s should be erased.
It starts with
I don't know, they seem
worst
quite
fucking sitcom vibes you've ever fucking seen as well.
It's fucking horrible.
I don't know. I was quite a big fan of like the intro music, which was very like bloopity blue, you know, but it's also filled with murder.
I think I'd describe that as arse music.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, oh, the guy's late for work, late for university. Oh no, he's got to like run around the house. He gets in the shower with his socks still on.
Oh yeah.
I reject the notion that a psychology student has to go to university.
Yeah, that's the thing. But no, you see him get out of bed and put his underpants on, so he was sleeping in just socks for some fucking bizarre reason. So I'm going to get letters from like a bunch of parents who only sleep in their socks like a bunch of perverts. Do you know what I mean? But just at David about it.
Yeah.
No, don't.
Or form a support group with Nick. That's also fine by me.
So, like, no one in this film actually really matters.
The main character is played by Guy, but essentially he just kind of looks like a drop-shipped Cillian Murphy, and like...
Yeah.
See, Dawn said he looked like Nicholas Hoult had getting into a fucking transporter accident with Sam Winchester from Supernatural. But whatever he looks like, I don't think he's been in fucking anything else since, and with good cause.
I had a quick look at his IMDb. It's filled with, starry entries like Guy in scene, in one episode of Holby City.
Well, to be fair, Guy in scene is a lot of the first hour of this fucking... I reserve the right to not call this a film because it fucking isn't.
This is a guy who got his big break here and then went on to bigger roles like Corpse and Taggart.
Yeah. It's directed by the guy that did Stormbreaker, though.
Well, anyway, we've got him and we've got fetal Paul Bettany, which is great.
Yeah, the only actor in the first 3/4 of this movie.
My notes just say over and over and over again, that's Paul Bettany. What the fuck is Paul Bettany doing here?
What is he doing here? 6 years before Master and Commander comes out. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, Paul Bettany is acting, unlike most of the cast.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, think that would show up the rest of the cast, but it actually just shows up Paul Bettany. Like, he gave this way more effort than it was due.
Yeah.
This was a student film that somehow got a budget.
Channel 4.
I say again, somehow, because even Channel 4 standards, I want to believe, are higher than this.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you can tell it's Channel 4 because, like, everyone has their tits out all the time. But aside that detail aside, it is the most ITV thing I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we're introduced to the fact that... I feel like
there's some Channel 5 vibes in there as well. Like, because it does this is constantly horny for the first, like, hour. But it takes it to a point where... It
keeps being horny throughout, man. Like, that shit doesn't stop. No, it rapidly tones it down when it realises there's supposed to be a whole murder thing going on. Like, the minute that stuff starts, it gets way less horny. Like, markedly so. To the point where I was like, okay, this is actually watchable now.
Hey, did you know that women have tits? Wow, I sure do now. Thanks, Killinette.
Yeah. There was a weird amount of tits in this movie. Like several times more than I thought there had to be, really.
I guess we can only assume Linda LaPlante is a fucking freak.
I mean, I've got... Well, yeah. I'm sticking with the 5.5 hour fucking mark amount of evidence to suggest that yes, she is.
Yeah. The only thing this movie does do like reasonably well is portray student life, like sort of sleeping in, missing your shit, going to incredibly like bad rave parties, taking drugs, and I don't know, living in filth.
Those famous student rave parties.
Not noticing that someone's left a heroin rig in your bed.
Yeah, but he sleeps in because he's been up late at night on whatever the fuck the 90s version of MS Paint was, presumably MS Paint.
Oh yeah, because he's MS painting an electric chair,
while drinking a crushed can of Coke. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What, did you need to get that shot of him throwing it in the bin twice? Did you? Couldn't just, it was the last can of Coke in the pack, and it was like, fuck, I knew you should have bought 2.
Oh. Yeah, if we get that, and then we get Paul Bettany rushing him up and get him to university. Why
didn't you respect the rota?
There's a hilarious bit where he borrows a shirt from Paul Bettany. And Paul Bettany's like, it's like, you look great. It's a white T-shirt, but it's got Charles Manson on the back of it for some insane fucking reason.
So
like, I thought the joke was going to be that he'd put the shirt on backwards, but apparently not.
No, I mean that's specifically so that when you go to your big meeting with your course supervisor, that when you leave the room, you can leave the mark that you always intended to by showing Paul Manson's face to Paul Manson.
Paul Manson, yeah.
Paul Mason's face.
Manson?
Paul Mason's face to your course supervisor.
Paulie Manson, yeah.
And also how easy the commute is from Brighton seafront to the University of Surrey.
Yeah, so long as you've got like a wee fucking convertible MG or whatever the fuck it was.
That he leaves outside with no roof on.
All the time
in
Brighton. Yeah, okay.
In Brighton and or Guildford.
Yeah, but at university, the whole world has gone cyber crazy. They're all in the cyber studio, and they're all looking at big naturals and or playing, I don't know, X-Wing or whatever the fuck.
I really wanted to try and identify that game, but I was too ill.
I'm telling you that if those nerds were worth their salt, they would all be playing fucking Diablo on Battle.net.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That room would be StarCraft as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, you know, I honestly spent like 3 fucking like solid years in computer labs in the 90s at various universities, and I can tell you, literally nobody looked at fucking porn on those computers in the open. Like, it just didn't. You know what I mean? Just didn't happen.
But you see, this was young people with the internet, and this is what it does to them.
Yeah.
Why are you looking? Looking at pornography in like a completely sterile environment when you could be doing literally anything else, like playing StarCraft or Diablo.
Yeah,
I was studying the murder game.
They're all just hardcore Beatles fans.
Yeah.
So yeah, should we just do a quick run through the fucking characters? Yeah.
Our main character is I still haven't remembered his fucking name. It's essentially Scott. He's just a something awful poster circa 2000 2004. Like, you know, the big titty girl wants to dance up on him in the discoteca, but instead he wants to talk about math and the perfect equation of love. And it's just like it really is that meme of the bearded guy closing the shutters on like the bikinied women doing volleyball outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas Paul Bettany's a shagger. And his girlfriend is also there, and the 3 of them live in the same house.
A fucking ginormous house in Brighton.
Yeah. If you want to imagine the vibe, right? You know those like fucking things you see on Facebook that like your mom shares, where it's like, oh, don't go on the internet on like Tuesday because that's when the like, you know what I mean? That's when like fucking Al Qaeda is going to do their cyber attack or some shit like that. Like, don't ever flash your headlights at someone driving at night with no lights on, because that's a gang initiation and they'll murder you. The people who write those fucking posts on Facebook decided to like do a fucking cover version of Shallow Grave. That's the vibe of like the accommodation with the 3 of these people in.
I'm really struggling to think how the fuck we're supposed to even talk about this first part in any fucking detail.
Well, we have to talk about this. No, because we have to set up the important plot point of the main character, how he meets the
rich bitch. Is that
the succubus?
Yeah,
the succubus.
Yeah. So he's planning a fucking psychology experiment, right? Is that? Yeah.
Yes.
That's what the electric chair.
He wants to do the fucking prison experiment, but like with a fake
it's the
electric
Milgram
chair.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he was MS painting an electric chair while drinking an empty can of Coke. But yeah, he convinces the fucking guy, doesn't he? And then like he gets a lawn chair that he wants made up to look like an electric chair. It's like,
damn, okay. This looks like nothing like the 3D render in MS Paint.
I know. And he even drew lightning on it as well, which I thought was quite good.
Yeah.
Just sitting there fucking, do you know what I mean? Doing Metallica album covers on an Etch-a-Sketch for your university project.
You go over one speed bump and your entire project's ruined.
But he's also in the digital chat room with the centaur with the big nostrils.
Fucking chat room representation for anything I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is your chat room a fucking screensaver that is just completely like a fucking acid trip compilation of like just completely incongruent characters? I guess.
Yeah. Well, this is like they go to a rave, don't they? And then like he leaves. Because like Paul Bettany's trying to set him up with some lass, and he doesn't get interested because he's more interested in Tim Leary's like fucking full body orgasm or some shit.
Yeah.
So
Paul Bettany does spend a lot of time speaking about orgasms, doesn't he?
He goes to the incredibly imaginatively named Techno Bar, which is run by that guy from The Mummy. You know the guy from the Ancient Order of No Imhoteps.
Oh, is that the same fucking guy?
It is, yeah.
We need to watch The Mummy at some point.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, some guy comes up and tells them they've got a T1 line in the basement, and I was like, oh, nostalgia. Who remembers T1 lines?
Yeah.
So he goes down to the fucking cyber cafe in the basement and connects to the fucking weirdest like Photoshop collage art chat room you've ever seen.
Like geocities.org/chat.
It's fucking wild. It's like do you remember those fucking animations you used to get on like in like 2003 of the kittens singing?
Yes, vaguely,
yes. It looks like that guy developed the chat room.
Yes.
The chat room has the vibes of what the research done was them listening to Adam Curtis interviewing an acid damaged guy about his vision of a free internet.
Yeah. And for some reason, Scott's Avi is like a sort of a very tiny Captain Kirk or something.
Yeah.
My notes just say this is very David coded.
Is either tiny Captain Kirk or like the like a Vault Boy or Vault Man, I guess.
It looked more like that. It definitely was not a Star Trek. I'll tell you that right now.
But anyway, he gets chatted up by like a big titty centaur.
Yeah.
Who's among us? Listener, you have to understand that the titties on this centaur were mahoosive.
It's fucking ridiculous. And the whole, like I say, the art style reminded me so much of that like fucking guy that used to do those like singing kitten animations. I went and looked him up, and I went and looked to see if he worked on this, and he didn't. But the guy responsible for the computer graphics on this also worked on Outlaw. That was his next credit, in fact, on IMDb. He did the computer graphics on this, and then he worked the on-set monitors for Outlaw. That was his next credit. So we're slowly we've only got like 4 more films to do, and we've covered that guy's entire career. So
we are like steps away from the singularity, I tell you right now.
Yeah, so he goes away and he meets Rich Bitch, who
in person,
is,
never meet strangers off the internet. Like your mother was right.
Yeah,
just openly sharing. Come meet me in 15 at the fucking pier car park or whatever, and turning up and not getting your head kicked in.
No, the digital jet ski.
Come to the jet ski on the pier if you want your ass kicked. But yeah, it's like in this, the internet is divided into 2 zones. It's almost like a cyberpunk future. You know what I mean? The internet's divided into 2 zones, and those 2 zones are America and Brighton.
Yes.
Everything else was lost during the great like fucking cataclysm or whatever.
Yeah, Web 2.0 was a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think the .com crash was about?
That's right, yeah.
The great realignment, yeah.
So turns out she's extremely horny and wants a place to stay, so she starts being really fucking weird.
Yeah, but she knows a lot about William Gibson and computers, so
yeah,
it's obviously
dream come
obviously
true.
The guy's dream woman.
I made a note of Neuromancer. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. They do that thing. They do that fucking thing that like TV writers like still do. You know, I was going to say it did in the 90s, but they still fucking do it. Where they have like two characters that are like less than half the age of the person writing them bond over like an aspect of popular culture by just listing things that they looked up somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
The absolute pinnacle of that form was, I think it must have been like Birds of a Feather or some fucking sitcom that I remember my mum was watching once. And like someone's teenage nephew met someone's teenage daughter and they bonded by like talking about like the best guitarists, like their favorite guitarists. This is like the early 90s, like the height of grunge or whatever. And their favorite guitarists were The Edge from U2 and Slash from Guns N' Roses.
I thought you were going to say like fucking Santana or something.
But yeah, so they just list a bunch of like, you know what I mean? They go to his room and they list a bunch of William Gibson novels. And then, like,
if you liked Neuromancer, you will also enjoy.
Yeah.
Not watching this.
Yeah. But then, you know,
if you've never even heard of Neuromancer, you'll enjoy not watching this.
Yeah. I know. But then she does some light domination, which is like sort of supposed to show that she's insane. But I was just like, I don't know. Seems all right. Like, you know, not the worst thing.
No, this was the worst thing that I've watched for the podcast.
The lad seems into it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like it seems consensual, and everybody seems to be, you know, into it. Good on you. You know, try something new. It's university.
But
yeah, did they think about whether David consented? I don't think so.
Exactly. Yeah, isn't there someone you forgot to ask? Like the problem with this specifically is that it has very much got the vibe and energy and grime of going on to fucktube.com or whatever and just typing in British.
But yeah, anyway, like Paul Bettany like hears them fucking shagging and then goes to like
there's a lot of listening to people shagging this. Like again, like, I know we've said that there's a lot of shagging in this, but like the amount of different ways in which shagging is just omnipresent throughout the first like hour is very impressive.
Yeah, well, there isn't any killer nets in it for the first hour.
Oh, for fuck's sake, no.
But yeah, Paul Bettany goes and like tells them to quiet down, and then realizes that like, it's like, oh no, he knows the girl from somewhere, and she tells him she's going by a different name now, but she didn't tell anyone what he did or something. Mystery. And then look forward to that not being explored for another 2 hours.
It's a lot of that.
Yeah, but she does, she does not only does she dom him, but she also gives him like the first ever invented G-force. But she needs she needs to quote get inside the processor to install it.
Yeah, she needs to get inside the processor to install an MPEG card for better resolution.
Yeah, and also for a microphone,
that was
which
really
is actually
nice
plot
because
relevant.
I got to forget about the entire film for about 5 minutes because I just spent that time remembering IDE cables.
Yeah. Yeah, she needed to change the IRQ as well, and that was another moment of like, wow, who remembers interrupt requests? Only 90 kids will know what this is.
Only 90 kids.
90 kids, 90s, oh, whatever, man. I'm fucking dying, leave me alone.
Yeah, so we get a lot of back and forth with this relationship that's been set up and the fact that Paul Bettany's uncomfortable about it. She keeps meeting this DJ from the club, the rave club or whatever the fuck it was called.
She keeps meeting the DJ from Take That. Because it is one of the, I forget which one it is, but it's one of the guys from Take That in what is quite possibly and deservedly his only acting role.
Yeah, but it should have been everyone
Jason
going the acting
Orange.
role in this.
That's the guy.
Jason Orange. Yeah, a person who I hadn't heard of until I looked this up on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I understand that Paul Bettany's got a good career, right? But having done this previous to anything else, he shouldn't have it. This very much feels like a production which should have blacklisted everyone involved.
But you've seen the bit at the end where he cries. That's like Oscar worthy.
Yeah, that's
genuinely
fucking good acting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care how good it was. I had to sit through this. He doesn't deserve anything.
Do you know what it is, though? It's like,
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, that is actually like good acting, and considering this was on Channel 4 in like the late 90s, it's like, do you know what I mean? It's probably the best thing they've ever had on that fucking channel. Some of the fucking
let's not be fucking silly here. Come on, fuck.
Some of the fucking piss they came up with in the 90s, like.
Yeah. Anyway, stick around for the next 500 cultural committees. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. There will be no fucking no. This is it. Jamie's privileges have been fucking revoked after this.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're gonna get served my idea, and I've also found some horrendous piss. So, like,
I'll just fucking launder all my ideas through Rob from now on. It's fine.
Yeah.
Joke's on you. I don't trust him either.
Anyway, we meet a drug dealer. That at some point they
drug dealer / guy I specifically went to university with, which, considering I went to the University of Surrey, which is fucking where all the university bits are filmed, is very fucking strange for me.
Yeah,
what was his fucking accent, by the way?
Someone approximating Scouse, I felt like.
Yeah. They do mention he's from Liverpool later on, like, so I was like,
do they?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I do think it's like meant to be Scouse.
I genuinely thought he was some flavour of Geordie at points.
I mean, could be. I wasn't paying that much fucking attention, really. Like, Scouse, Geordie, it's all the same, really, isn't it? Anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People don't want you to know that, like, but yeah, like British accents are all just a bit we've been doing. Everyone actually sounds the same.
300 episodes and we've blown the case wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking right all over the place. So I couldn't focus on any scene he was in because I was just sitting there going, where are you from? I need to know. Anyway.
Then Paul Bettany and the main character discover online pornography. And paying for online pornography.
Isn't it like the lassie tells the guy he needs like a fucking microphone card added to his computer?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he at some point says, I need a set of He says, I need a set of micro screwdrivers, and then there's a shot of him with the drug dealer installing a microphone by like taking the entire computer apart, and there's also like in the shot there's like a full set of like fucking plumber's wrenches, which I'm just very curious about what kind of a computer that is.
Yeah, she installs
water cooled.
Is it like the MPEG card she installs or some shit? She gets it for him as a gift, and then like they fucking go on the internet together. But then she dumps him because he says he loves her, and then like he gets the microphone card and gets into online like video chat room porn or whatever. But the scene where they install the microphone card in the computer is fucking amazing because they don't have a micro screwdriver. And also they're all lying on fucking carpet. It's like that computer is never fucking working again. Do you know what I mean? You fucking cast lightning bolts into that fucking thing the entire time you were working on it.
Oh, yeah.
You need like an anti-static strap that they could anchor a battleship with if you were going to fucking lie on that carpet and work inside the computer at the same time. Like fucking hell.
Yeah. So I suppose now we need to fast forward slightly to the introduction of Sexy Sadie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit, she was enjoying herself, wasn't she?
Yeah, fucking hell.
Oh, yes, Sexy Sadie is essentially either, you know, someone who takes their clothes off online, a relationship therapist, or possibly also another succubus. It's a little bit unclear at this point.
You forgot You forgot early version of GameStop.com.
Yeah, so it's like she's a cam
Back
girl.
when Netflix
like,
would actually still send you like a DVD.
yeah, she's a cam girl that like Paul Bettany and Moss Chops keep fucking like looking at, and then they get like super excited and like realize you can look at any women on the internet, so they start like they go on a tour of America, like looking at all the different women. But there's a great scene where the lads explain it to Paul Bettany, oh, you can have any woman you want, blonde, brunette, redhead, as the screen like, you know, in sequence shows brunette.
And hot twin action. Don't forget the hot twin action.
Yeah, you got all those options of brunettes when you could just go back to seemingly the most enticing woman on the internet, Sexy Sadie, who's like, I don't mean to besmirch a woman in working in her craft, but like describing your tits as as my big orbs is just inherently very funny.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one who wrote down my big orbs then.
Like I say, she's fucking enjoying herself. Leave her alone.
Yeah, no. She's having a great time. You know, all due respect. I'm not giving a shit for her. Don't get me wrong. She
feels very anachronistic, and that like she's like an element of the modern internet. Do you know what I mean? Like Sexy Sadie would be a fucking hell of a poster, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she's been working on sex workers' rights for decades now. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, they like spend all night wanking the various like fucking cam girls, and then I forget what happens next.
Oh, Sexy Sadie says, you know, if you want to take this further, if you want to go really extreme, I can send you a videos game.
He's been dumped, and he goes back to the techno bar, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, he's trying to track her down or something, and I don't know. But anyway, he's
no. You're getting ahead of yourself. He's gone on a night out in Senal, with the DJ, and like went back, followed them back, and been like, "What the fuck's going on?" And got his face slapped a couple of times by him for fucking wet.
Yeah.
And then he's went back up the road and logged on to sexysadie.com for some therapy.
Yeah, that's
to be fair, that guy has an incredibly like slappable face. Like I'm not going to lie about that.
Yeah, he's talking to Sexy Sadie about how sad he feels and everything, and then she offers to sell him a video game about murdering people.
Not just that, she does a bit more of that.
Incredible bit of sales work. Do you know what I mean? Identified exactly what this kid needs.
The best part of
the old ultra violence.
She gives him this big long like sales pitch, and then at the end it's like, if you succeed, you will be free to walk about, and it's like cuts to a low poly picture of a unicorn. Like, great,
yes,
thank you, thank you for liberating my mind so I can see the low poly JPEG of the unicorn.
No, but the best thing about this is like he says, can't you like just digitally send it to me? She says, no, I have to send it to you by CD-ROM. And he says, why? And she says, because there are copyright rules.
Yeah, because there are copyright rules, and nobody involved in the production wanted to explain like fucking like bandwidth in 1998, I guess. Because
yeah, fair enough. Like
you know what I mean? Like on a fucking 56k modem, you were not downloading a CD-ROM on a whim. Like, we invented MP3 for a reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah, whereas he's getting this thing that's just full of fucking like BIC files or something.
Yeah.
Oh. So, does anything even happen in between him wanting the CD or ordering it and then getting it?
No, essentially, I think we just cut to the CD.
Oh, no.
Because my next... Sorry. No, you go, David.
No, you go on. I've gotten confused.
I was going to say, because my next note says, simply, he gets the CD-ROM, boots it up, and then you get to meet Greg Wallace introducing Killer Taskmaster, and it's incredible.
Yeah, where you get to play as the world's wheeziest protagonist.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just
the man with street apnea.
Yeah, emphysema vision. Hell yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, the big bald guy whose like name is Mr. Dome, which is just fucking incredible writing.
I thought it was just Dome.
I think he's credited as just Dome, but like there's a point where they say, "Oh yeah, it's a PO box registered to a Mr. Dome," and then later on, like, "Oh yeah, the guy who hired
Mr. Dome,
who hired this warehouse, the guy who hired this warehouse is called John Dome."
To be fair, there was that time that Jamie sent me mail to Mr. Naptime, so...
Yeah.
Mr. Naptime Esquire, I think.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Fuck. This is an ad break on Podcasting as Praxis. This advert is for the Patreon of Podcasting as Praxis. On the Patreon of Podcasting as Praxis, you will get at least 2 monthly bonus episodes of Podcasting as Praxis, where we discuss lots of topics, including new types of guy, celestial boondoggles, monetising whale shit, and, reluctantly, Scott Paul. You will also be able to join the Podcasting as Praxis Discord, a place to talk with like-minded people about lots of topics, including new types of guy, celestial boondoggles, monetising whale shit, but not Scott Paul, and also, of course, Podcasting as Praxis. If that isn't enough Podcasting as Praxis for you, the Discord also includes a bonus channel where we post the bits that don't make the final cut of the episodes. Fans of both mediocre and bad podcasting have everything to gain by subscribing to the Patreon of Podcasting as Praxis. You will also no longer get ads on episodes of Podcasting as Praxis. £5 a month will get you all of that and maybe more at patreon.com/ you guessed it, PraxisCast. That's patreon.com/ PraxisCast, the place where we sell Podcasting as Praxis. Okay, so the game.
Yeah, we finally get our Leonardo DiCaprio moment. We're all pointing at the screen. We're going, "That's the name of the show." And
two things that immediately struck me about this like masterpiece of 90s like video game technology is it loads instantly.
Yes.
And it doesn't have a cutscene at the start informing you that it runs on Bink Video, which I feel like it should have done.
Yeah.
But the thing is the game, it's like I will say this for it's fucking ridiculous. Like it's absolutely like unhinged, and you know what I mean? it would never have happened because you would need to spend a fucking fortune on it. But like and it probably wouldn't all fit on one CD-ROM either, but like technically they have actually like, you know what I mean? They haven't like a lot of shows when they put evil video game in it, they just go fucking nuts, do you know what I mean? They just let people.
It really does have the production aspect. And when I said Evil Mist, I really meant it.
You nailed it. Like, yeah, you absolutely nailed it. It is just that they have actually, like, they obviously have played hours of FMV games and, like, you know what I mean, put their own together. Like, it's insane to think you could get that much video at that quality onto a CD-ROM. But, like, but the actual like interface is exactly the kind of dog shit you got on FMV games in the late 90s. Like the bit where like, you know, he goes, "Oh, I'm going to go around the back of the woman's house," and he like clicks on a spot at the corner of the screen, and that bit like changes color to show that he's clicked on it. It was like, oh, yeah, this is exactly as like rough as fuck as it would be.
So the game has 4 levels which you must get through.
Yeah,
which explains to you in glorious real-time video.
Yeah, Varys from Game of Thrones explains to you that you must pass all 4 levels consequentially. You need to pass one to move on to the next, and it's stalking.
And also, it's roguelike rules. If you lose, you go back to the start for some reason.
So
Murder with roguelike elements.
When did Rogue even fucking come out? Jesus Christ.
1984, I want to say.
It says 1980. Says.
Oh well, okay.
It says Wikipedia, but anyway.
Fair enough. So you pick a victim, and then you stalk them, which is level 1. Then the next level is killing them. Then the next level is the what appears to be trivially simple dispose of the body level, and then 4 is police inquiry.
Yeah, which we also call big head mode.
But when you're introduced to the game, it's not welcome to KillerNet. It's welcome to KillerNet UK. Choose your location.
Yeah. Just one of them. One of the locations just happens to be Brighton.
What is it? It's what were the 4 locations? London,
Brighton, London, Liverpool, and Nottingham.
Yeah.
What happens if you're not in any of those places? What if you're like equidistant between I don't know London and Brighton?
I don't know.
You
have not purchased the.
You
need to purchase the fucking I don't know, Guildford DLC. Is that between the two? I don't care.
No, but if you didn't live in Brighton, you would have to solve the mystery of what Thursday night being the best time to kill the shoe shop girl by actually looking at the video in the game and trying to work out which of the pixels on the fucking 1 centimeter high shop door says Thursday late opening. Whereas the guy in the show actually goes to the shoe shop.
Jamie, no. I'm gonna have to correct you there. It's not Thursday. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday's Adventures of Tintin.
Yeah, Thursday, :D.
Yeah, essentially, main character person gets sucked into digitalking.
Gets sucked into Evil Mist, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And then,
and
he's very bad at it
shit
because...
at it as well, yeah.
To be fair,
what if I just walked up and introduced myself to the woman I'm trying to murder?
Yeah. Look, as someone who has some experience of Assassin's Creed, escort missions and stalking missions do indeed fucking suck because they have that required distance only to... Anyway, to get better at the game...
Imagine KillerNet, but all the cars move at 9,000 miles an hour.
Tom Walker plays KillerNet, but all the victims move at 999 kilometers an hour.
Anyway, because
you'd never catch up to them with that fucking wheezing.
I know.
We need to talk about the fucking wheezing.
The fucking wheezing, man.
I was fucking howling every time part of this was on and that wheezing was happening.
It's so
I
good.
couldn't not laugh. Why is it there? It's so distracting.
It sounds like Darth Vader tried to run up 8 flights of stairs with a chest infection. It's fucking brutal. But all of the the footage in KillerNet of the victim you're stalking is accompanied by this noise. It's just fucking, it's great,
and it's constant as well. We missed the character select screen where he picks Hector Salamanca.
Even purely on a videos game level, it's just the first thing that would come out for KillerNet is a bot to get rid of the wheezing. That's
Oh, well, that's the thing, though. I mean, it's very advanced because it comes with its own mod tools.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there later. Anyway, but because the main character is so fucking shit at it, he goes to the university library.
He does the most sensible thing you would ever do as a nerd with access to the internet in the 1990s, and look up various books for serial killers that you can that you can read through rather than going on what I would assume would be several web forums dedicated to solving this fucking video game.
This is what we had to do in the 90s before we had GameFAQs.
Surely there was a Geocities site that you could go onto.
But yeah, in the 90s, if you were stuck on a particular mission in like Red Alert, you would have to go to the library and get a book on Peter Sutcliffe out to figure out how to get past. Just the way gaming worked back then.
Pressing pause in the game and wearily turning to my big copy of Stalingrad to beat this level of Red Alert.
Anyway, he's not only is the main character like playing this alone, he's playing it with his housemates, with Paul Bettany and his girlfriend.
At first, just with Paul Bettany.
Yeah,
like
because they're like taking speed and doing crack and staying up all night, planning various murder.
Look,
yeah,
staying up all night doing speed and playing like Evil Mist is absolutely nailed on student life.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if it was possible to like murder people in Warcraft 2, this would basically have been what I did at university.
And anyway, so they solve the first like in-game murder, like the easy mode murder, and then they go out and play laser tag, which I haven't done in forever, and it reminded me that I should go play laser.
We all love to celebrate killing someone in a video game by going out and playing laser tag.
Yeah, they spend ages at it because he has to ask Paul Bettany what kind of murder weapon to use, and then he has to ask Paul Bettany's nurse girlfriend like where the best place to hit someone with a hammer is, and she's just like far too keen to answer these questions. I felt, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like she
they are so
how to make a body decompose faster.
They are all so fucking into it. Like again, like seems like that all tracks and stuff, but like it is again about the best way to kill a person and dispose of the body.
Yeah, but yeah, like so they come up with all this stuff, and then she goes on her and the main character go on a tour of like good sites around Brighton to get rid of a body.
Yeah.
The only two we see are the Roman well and a railway tunnel, I think.
Yeah. It's like one of those, city tours you could do these days where you only have to pay them at the end if you liked it. It's that, but the dispose of body tour.
But yeah, they decide like the getting rid of her in the tunnel would be the best place, and you've got to make sure there's like 100 stab wounds on the body so the maggots can get in.
Yeah.
And also burn the fingerprints off with acid, and like also this and also that. And it's like, don't you live next to the sea? Would it not just be easier to just throw the body in there? But yeah, so they go back and they play through the game and they manage to like fucking, you know what I mean, do the murder and dispose of the body and get away with it by talking to the police. They talk to like fucking DCI, some fucking guy or other.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they fucking like go to play laser tag to celebrate.
Yeah, and it's I'm pretty sure it's shortly afterwards.
It's
Scott is like back at it again, like going back for more Evil Mist.
At the laser quest, they run into like Paul Bettany's stalker girl. Yeah, Charlotte. And then they go like out to the club, because the only club in Brighton is the one her boyfriend is DJ at. And
yeah,
like fucking is the drug dealer kid called Scruffy?
Yes.
Yeah. I think so.
Right. So Scruffy like sees Scott, the main guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Scruffy sees him talking to Charlotte, and then like gets a hold of him and warns him. Oh, you got to stay away from her. She's bad news, mate. She's flamed you and called you a wanker on all the news groups.
Yeah. Yes. So good.
I know, it really takes me back to like flaming people and calling them a wanker on all the news groups. I used to love that shit.
Oh, sorry. Are you under the impression that you've moved on since?
But yeah, so he goes and reads like a fucking blog post from her that like, which is not on a news group. It's quite clearly a fucking like website
text file.
Yeah, but like, and it says that he's got a small dick. Was the gist of it basically?
Weenie Willie, I think I wrote.
Yeah, something like that. And he gets like really fucking mad about it. So he goes home and he
gets drunk.
He gets absolutely shit faced. And like the the no Imhotep's guy like throws him out of Techno Bar, and then he pukes in a taxi on the way home.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets home, he uses like the fucking custom mod tools, because once you've killed a victim,
yes,
in Killer Net, you unlock Libra, where you can put your own victim in.
And this is, by the way, like the best part about this film, because we are introduced to the faces.
The character mod. Yeah.
This is where they diverge from, like maybe not practical, but possible on the technology of the time to now. This is more what you expect from a fucking TV show about a murderer on the internet, because they get like a 3D mannequin head and they put Photoshop eyes and mouth on it, and then it magically like morphs into like a fucking like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Uncanny Valley head with which then animates
it
the
really
fucking
reminds
mouth.
Me, it really reminds me of there was an adventure game in the fucking 90s called Hell, a Cyberpunk Adventure, and the box art prominently featured like a fucking, do you know what I mean, high poly render of Dennis Hopper's head. And it looks like that, do you know what I mean? It looks like complete shit, but it's like 90s CGI. And
that one druid.
Yeah.
It does have a touch of the druids about it.
He photo fits Charlotte's face together, and then like puts her like name and address and fucking blood type and all this other shit in.
Personally identifiable information.
Yeah. And then he like goes on the game to try and murder her, and then like
some great faces while he's doing that as well. I really like the bit where he just starts drooling from terminal.
Oh, the fucking drooling while he's doing this. I'm like, what the fuck? How much speed and weed has this guy taken at this point? Like, it just turned into like a gurning mess at like 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah, it's a definitely if you're the guy that runs Good Faces bot on like fucking Blue Sky or whatever, or Twitter or wherever the fuck it is, this is a show you should definitely watch.
Just to feel better about yourself.
But yeah, like he does all that, and then we cut to some kids losing a ball over the fucking like fence by the railway tunnel, and their dad going down, and the dog runs into the tunnel and like discovers the body, like a body, I should say, and then
I think that's the end of episode 1, or
that's the end of episode 2.
Oh, well.
And then, the police dig up the body, and it's revealed to be Charlotte, who was killed in dun 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 the exact same way that like fucking Marty.
The
or
three of them
the
planned in Killer.net. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like no. Well, not the way they killed the first girl, but the way like fucking. Do you know what I mean? Fucking
whatever. It's the exact same way. She dies in the exact same manner as in Video's game.
Killer.net is the Westwood competitor version to Battle.net, I assume.
Yeah, but it's all very spooky and like, oh no, you know what I mean? What could have happened there? Is the computer evil? Is basically the central thesis of this, like. But yeah,
yes, Oh, if you have to ask the question, computer is always evil.
Yeah, true. Do you know what? We missed the bit with the fucking incredible cooking scene.
Oh shit! Yeah, we did. We have to go back and talk about the incredible cooking scene. Yeah, no, whatever. Let's just talk about it now. Who cares? Yeah. So at some point,
did she peel that onion before she started chopping it?
No. Yeah, at some point during the interminable plague of the first game, where they're trying to work out whether or not how to murder someone, they're having like the worst student dinner. Which, to be fair, that's the bit I recognized from my own uni days.
It's that fucking journalist twats like fucking proper spag ball. That's what they're making.
Yeah,
yeah. I like my onion skin on.
Yeah,
it gives it that real texture.
Skin still on the onion, and then like just fucking like just sprinkling like pasta sauce into a bowl from like a foot above it.
Yeah, well, you're meant to season with salt and pepper, from quite a high elevation to get it nice and even. I imagine it's the exact same with a tin of fucking chopped tomatoes.
Yeah,
Dull
but it's like
Neo-Bay.
it's also that like fucking. It's also the like main character can like just stare, like 1,000-yard stare at the knife, and then at the like the pasta sauce because it's red like the blood of his victims.
Yeah, what if?
Yeah, it looks like
raw, they just
worst
sprinkle raw
meal.
ground beef into it. Like it's delightful.
Yeah. And then Paul Bettany picks some of it out of the dish with his fingers and flicks it at him. It's like, yeah, this is definitely student housing. Fucking hell. Oh. But yeah, anyway, back to the present, as it were.
Yeah, so is this the second episode now?
So a murder...
Well, the second episode, it depends whether you're watching it on like Channel 4 or Freevee.
Yeah, it depends on your point of view, David.
Oh, okay.
Time is relative.
Episode 3 of 4 or episode 2 of 2?
Yes.
Yeah. I will 3 of 5.5.
Yeah. Anyway, so Charlotte is dead. She's been found, and a murder is afoot. But in the meantime,
the police are sort of flailing around.
Yeah.
In that like police procedural sort of way.
But in the meantime, the main character, I still haven't remembered his fucking name, has to go home for the weekend, and the first thing he sees upon coming home to his like big ass house. This is also where we learn that he's posh. And
I mean, he's driving a fucking MG.
Yeah,
that he can afford. That he can afford to leave outside with the roof down, come rain or shine. So you know what I mean. I think it was apparent that he was minted. Like, what is he getting? He's having it. I think he's having it like fucking like professionally cleaned every other day, or does he just buy a new one when it gets too full of water?
I don't know. Maybe it's on the household chore road to like scoop out the MG. But first thing he sees is he meets his little brother in like the study room or whatever, and his little brother is also like has printed out pages of pornography because everybody can get them now. It's that time.
Wow, the internet is taking the country by storm.
He's actually going out to put those pictures in bushes for other people.
Yeah, and then the guy's dad comes in and kicks off because he's got like, obviously his parents pay for his credit card, and his credit card like owes $1,500 to Sexy Sadie PLC or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
We love to see a discreet business.
I know.
Yeah, small and medium-sized enterprises are the heartbeat of the global economy.
Yeah,
See, do you know what I mean? Imagine you go to sign up for like Sexy Sadie's chat room, and it's like this like fucking payment will arrive on your credit card as porn.
Big centaur with big naturals incorporated.
Giant orbs. Inc.
Yeah, so his dad gives him shit about watching pornography online, and then we cut to a scene of his professor also giving him shit about watching porn.
Because his dad
rang his professor.
Yeah,
I was thinking of including all this pornography in my experiment, to which the professor very understandably just tells him to fuck off.
Yeah,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean that guy like really does have the air of a guy who has to deal with students like for money. Do you know what I mean? Like.
Although
you could choose not to deal with the students, but then he would have to like quit his golf club membership or whatever, and he's just not happy about either possibility.
Although I don't know what the fuck office that is, because it's definitely not one at the University of Surrey. Fucking huge.
Continuity destroyed.
Yeah, yeah. This University of Surrey, which is also the University of Brighton, does not have an office this big. What we do love is the numerous shots of the fucking Phepps building bridge over to the psychology department. Everyone loves that.
Yeah, so he's fucking around. He's got to get his like psychology project back on track. His lawn chair gets broken by the fucking the lad, the young lad from like.
Oh, wait. We haven't even talked about the fucking lawn chair yet. So he's doing the Ingram experiment, which is the thing where they tested whether or not students would like give people they didn't know increasingly severe shocks, even though they could hear the screaming, and it was to see whether or not they would. And I think it's been fairly thoroughly debunked since than that study, but whatever. But in order to do this, he wants to like simulate like enough of a reality that he gets like some woman from the arts department, some student there, to like like paint a plastic lawn chair in black.
Yeah. But the chair gets
on it.
The chair gets broken by the lad from Inspectors Georg Gently. Like fucking, do you know what I mean? Oh, like hams it up too much, as like getting electrocuted, tips the chair over and breaks it, and then they have a fight, and then like then he steals a chair, he steals a throne from the art department, and uses that instead.
Yeah, and that throne is why they had to introduce tuition fees.
Yeah. But yeah, so he gets Scruffy to be the guy getting electrocuted, and like there's one lass like, oh, I can't do this anymore, and she leaves. And then the next lass is like, oh well, he calls me Miss Piggy, so I'm just going to keep shocking him.
Have you got any other buttons I can press?
Yeah. Meanwhile, the police turn up because they've tracked him down. The police turn up and like a fucking. It's the weirdest like police thing you've ever seen, because they storm through the fucking university and into the art department where he's got his like fucking little booth set up, and they walk in and he just yells at them to get the fuck out, and they do. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're there to like question him about a fucking murder, so they're just peering through the curtain at the guy faking the electric shocks. Do you know what I mean? Like,
by the way,
after they spend like at least 2 minutes respecting the "please keep out" sign as well.
And also taking it at face value, that it felt like they were taking it at face value that they were electrifying this man.
He runs in after the lass leaves. When the lass leaves, he runs in to like check the guy's pulse, and it's like, so you're an officer of the law, and you clearly thought that guy was really being electrocuted in an electric chair, and you just stood and watched it happen, and then
you left because the guy electrocuted or telling people to electrocute him said to leave.
Yeah, and then you just peered through the curtains, respectfully waiting for them to finish before you decided to administer first aid.
Yeah, incredible detectoring.
Yeah, but he goes in and then, like, he fucking tells the lad that he's, like, fucking detective
You fucking
inspector.
nicked me, laddie.
No, he tells him, like, he's detective inspector Piss Munch or whatever from the Surrey police. And the kid doesn't believe him because he's the cop from the game.
Yeah, like there were like three cops. There are 3 cops in the game, and they're all cops in real life. But not in real life, they're not in big head mode, so it's very easy to tell.
Yeah. But he gets
it's like you have the real cop, and then you have like Funko Pop cop, and Funko Pop cop is not real.
The lad doesn't believe, like, he thinks Joe's hired the actor from the game as a prank or whatever. And so they have to go back and forth about that. And the guy gets, like, irate. He's like, no, the woman's dead, and I'm a real policeman. Look at me fucking ID. And so then he goes like, oh, holy shit, she's really dead, and then makes a run for it, but like the police are everywhere, and so he ends up getting rugby tackled and throwing up on, like, rugby tackled into a pile of Spice Girls and throwing up on Baby Spice.
Yeah.
Just that sounds like such a fucking bit, like, oh yeah, and then I threw up on Baby Spice, like, why? Why did any of this happen?
You got to get some comedy into your fucking, like, you know what I mean? What if the internet was for murderers show? Because then we cut to the police station where the 2 cops are trying to explain to their boss that there was an electric chair and a Spice Girl got thrown up on and all this, and the head cops like stood there just looking at them like, I was in fucking Poirot once. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to listen to this shit. I mean, I assume anyway. Everyone in this has the air of having been in Poirot once. If I'm honest, like.
Yeah, we are skipping, by the way, interminably long sections where essentially the police are bad at being cops. Click, it doesn't work.
Oh yeah, the cop looking on the fucking computer, and he's like, was I supposed to click save or close if I wanted to save that?
Yeah, and then the cop does a big sigh, and it's
yeah. But yeah, anyway, so they question him, and he gets a lawyer, and he tries to explain to the lawyer, and then to Chief Superintendent Grobbelaar or whoever the fuck he is, that like, he murdered the girl that they were arresting him for, but he murdered her in the game, not in real life.
Yeah, in the game. It happened.
Yeah,
in the game.
In the game.
Did it happen in the game? It happened in the game.
I moved the body in the car but I thought you said you left your car in town. No, not my car, the in-game car in the game. It's like fucking.
Oh, cops don't know what a computer is.
Yeah, or that they have to get an expert in, who I assume was in Poirot at some point.
An expert in computers who has never played a video game.
I know.
Yeah.
Considers them a waste of time. It's like, fuck off, mate. How did you even get into computers in the first place if you didn't play computer games? Like, how did that happen? Were you just born in a spreadsheet? Like, fuck off.
You don't need to at Nick like that.
But yeah, so eventually, anyway, the fucking cops find the CD-ROM, and so then they bring him out. They bring the kid out of the cells to show them how the CD-ROM works, and they go through, and he goes through and he murders Charlotte in the game because he failed when he was like completely shit-faced drunk. He did it wrong. And so he does it again, and like the fucking chief superintendent gets like the knock on because it's like, well, you didn't do it exactly like you did, in the game. Like she was murdered the way you tried to murder her, but then you murdered her a different way now, and he completed the game, which also means she got deleted as a victim because it's like fucking Iron Man save, and like, do you know what I mean? So now you've deleted that evidence, and like the computer expert's like, well, we could just put all of her fucking details back in there again, and the chief cop's like, oh well, yeah, that'll look good on a report. And it's like, just don't put it in the report. Do you know what I mean? It's a fucking computer game. I'm sure the Crown Prosecution Service couldn't give a fuck, mate. You know, like.
Yeah, what's Keir Starmer's opinion on all this?
But yeah, so they're like, well, we need another victim. Who wants to be murdered? And then like this fucking like WPC is just like, oh yeah, I want to be murdered. Put me in the game. Definitely sign me up. I want to get murdered.
Fucking love being slaughtered, me.
Yeah, but put my medical records on there just to be sure.
That's right, my real address. You know what I mean? My code number for the door, the keypad to enter my building. Like everything, just put it. It's got to be 100% real. Otherwise, it's like, you know what I mean? It won't be evidential enough at my subsequent inquest and autopsy. You know what I mean? But yeah, and then we get the reveal of like some fucking dude who is like, I mean, if anyone remember the fucking horror film from the 80s, like Warlock? It's basically like, what if the Warlock went to Specsavers?
Yes.
But we see
he's
him
also
like
completely like unintroduced, and he's just like sitting in like
a
light industrial lot in a Land Rover, and then he covers his computers with like white sheets.
Yeah, he goes into a warehouse and like pulls a sheet off a fucking, like, you know what I mean, like the set of the fucking hovercraft in the Matrix. He's got like 6 monitors for some fucking reason. 6 monitors to play a single CD-ROM game in 1998.
CRT setup is incredibly funny when you actually see it.
Yeah. Well, he had to keep an eye on like 5 different ICQ chats at the same time, so you need all those monitors.
Yeah. But yeah, he logs into like a database of Libra victims, and he's going through and he picks Charlotte out of the list, and then he goes to like Jason Orange's flat because that's given as her address, and he goes there and he just misses Jason Orange, so he knocks at the door and there's no answer, and then as he's leaving he passes
the girlfriend, Paul Bettany's girlfriend,
who's coming with Jason Orange's wallet that she found in Paul Bettany's sock drawer. And he passes her, and then
I will say at this point, like the fine grains of who does why and what, like I got quite like confused.
Yeah,
not even confused, just like too bored to follow it properly, essentially.
But yeah, he sees like her going to the fucking apartment, and he doubles back and like calls her Charlotte, and like, you know, you are Charlotte, aren't you? And she says no, and rings the doorbell, and he's like, oh well, okay, I think she's out somewhere. She ordered a pizza, and it's like, yeah, you're wearing a fucking trench coat and you're not carrying a pizza, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's the worst like fucking lie I've ever heard. But then she tells him that Charlotte's dead, and so he goes back to his mothership to send a snotty email to the police.
Oh, yeah.
You killed my victim, you fucking
Yeah.
bitch. I will end you. I have shooters on every continent.
Yeah. It's essentially like I called killer dibs and you didn't fucking listen to me, and now I'm mad.
Signed, Mr. Dome.
We haven't even, like, while all this is going on, Paul Bettany keeps being really weird and, like, they're
And
clearing
yelling
the flat out of all the serial killer books, and they have a really fucking shaky interview with the cops where Paul Bettany looks extremely innocent and extremely normal the whole time.
By the way,
He also-
just can we just talk about the like clearing up the evidence for a second, where he goes he like rifles through every drawer and desk and cupboard in their massive fucking student house, looking for every single fucking how to get away with murder, how to kill and successfully deceive the police, etc. books that are all over the fucking place, and upon finding all of them, puts them in a bin bag in the living room or kitchen diner
You
area.
see, the thing there is, it's because he's still standing in the fucking bedroom holding the bag of evidence, talking to his girlfriend when the police ring the doorbell. Like, I genuinely expected the like hilarious like fucking end of that scene to be he opens the door to go to like the fucking like county tip with the bag of evidence and the police are standing outside. I thought that's where they were headed with that, but they actually ring at the door. They ring the doorbell first, and so he hides the bin bag in the only place you can think of, on the living room floor.
Yes.
And to be fair, it almost works. Like, the police are on their way out when one cop goes, "We should look in that bag." And Paul Bettany tries the incredible gambit. It's just rubbish.
Yeah.
It's having the Columbo moment of, oh, one more thing, I forgot to raid your bin.
Yeah. Yeah, podcasting hot tip. If you need to dispose of a body, Paul Bettany, not your first call.
He's very, very busy nowadays.
They also find a hammer and like a saw and, you know what I mean, a big bottle of fucking chloroform and, you know what I mean, whatever else. All the stuff that was used in a murder, they find a bunch of that and they just go, well, that belongs to the people
my
who...
tools. I've got to have my tools.
That belongs to the people who own the flat. We just rent it.
It reminded me a lot, Jamie, to be honest, of when we first started playing Vintage Story together. It's like, okay, so we need lime. Oh, we need to make slaked lime because this does this other thing. And, this is specifically how you make a body decompose faster. These guys know exactly how to do this stuff. They've been on the wiki.
Yeah, we didn't have wikis in 1998, did we? Can't remember what year the wiki was in.
Jimmy Wales right in.
Yeah, we're not giving you a $5 though. You can get fucked.
No, you give us a $5.
Yeah.
Exactly. Patreon.com/PraxisCast.
But yeah, so then Paul Bettany and like his girlfriend established the alibi each other, but then it turns out like she was drunk and can't really remember, and then Paul Bettany says like, "Oh, but don't you don't remember? You don't remember me making love to you?
Sweet, sweet love to you." Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like one of the
and...
3 short moments in the entire like back half of this where Paul Bettany is not yelling.
There's a lot of Paul Bettany yelling up until this point.
Yeah. But yeah, and then it turns out like actually like, you know, she realizes that like he's lying to her and he didn't come home that night or something. And there's just a lot of fucking about, really, isn't there? Like the warlock, the fucking like the specky warlock is like stalking the policewoman and like breaks into her house while she's at work and puts a fucking like spy camera in the vent above her shower.
Yeah.
Which comes on with a big red light, which is clearly visible through the vent when you turn the light on in the bathroom. And then, like, later on, there's a shot of her, like, showering from the vent, looking directly at the fucking camera. And it's like, Pretty sure she'd be able to see that red light. Like, do you know what I mean? She just think it's a really demonic rat in the vent or something like that.
Yeah, good thing she took an incredibly cold shower as well, because that camera would have been condensated immediately.
Yeah. I love the bit where he's filming. He's just lying on the fucking lawn outside a building, like filming with a camera, and an old lady comes out to ask him what the fuck he's doing, and he's like, "I'm an estate agent," and she's just like, "Oh, cool." Do you know what I mean?
A very Wheezy estate agent.
Well, this happened before.
He's not Wheezy, though. This is the thing that's most fucking thing. He doesn't wheeze in it, so why is someone doing it in the game?
But the thing is,
added in post. What was the decision rationale behind that?
So when it's in like third person mode, he's not Wheezy. When it's first person mode, it's Wheezy.
Yeah.
Why?
Who can say? They probably hired a sound guy for the game, and he just felt like he needed to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just had a really bad case of emphysema.
If you think about it, though, like in an FMV game, all the fucking like video comes with the audio attached. So if you're the fucking like sound effects guy, you've got to do like the clicky beeps on the menu and then nothing else. Just sit around the office all fucking day twiddling your thumbs.
Oh, you gotta do the bits where you click on something wrong and it just goes.
Yeah, the little boop when your score goes up. But yeah, where were we?
Have we done the bit where the cops talk to the webcam woman?
No, not yet.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, through a series of like combobulations that nobody fucking cares about, the cops get the game to work, or they want to get the game to work, and then they get into I can't even remember why. Oh, because they're trying to track where the killer CD-ROMs come from. So they're
fucking around. They're fucking around with the game, and there's like a bunch of cops playing it and giggling because like if you get caught during the stalking session, like a policeman knocks on your door and tells you you've been caught, like you've been acting suspiciously.
You've been arrested for being a wrong'un.
Yeah, and like, but it's like, you know, he's like fucking. He introduces himself as Constable Grobbelaar, but it's actually like the face of Chief Superintendent Grobbelaar, and they're all having a good giggle about it. And he's like, "How did they do that?" And the fucking computer expert guy has to explain how they would like take a still image and then like, you know, map it onto it's like the fucking Running Man, basically. Do you know what I mean? Like, take a photo of your face from Cop Magazine Weekly and then just project it onto a fucking 3D render. It does actually mention deep fakes. Like
it does, it does as well. Is it also this point we get like the morph face?
Yeah,
it is like honestly like so. So when in the game there are like 3 characters sat in a chair, on a big sofa basically, and those are like your, you know, you have to do these ones first, and then you get the one on the right who is like the, you know, your own. Special, you put your own info in and that. So, but in this bit in the cop shop, that face like turns to the camera and it zooms in, and it's just like a blank pudding face. It is very distressing.
Yeah. But yeah, like so, then the cops get introduced to Sexy Sadie. And they have to use like fucking the chief superintendent's credit card because no one else has a credit card.
Yeah.
There has to be a better way to make this kind of inquiry, but
yeah.
Yeah, but then we get to my
a half dozen cops like fucking standing around a piece of evidence, like putting the chief's credit card details in so they can talk to a fucking cam girl. This is why they have actual like computer crime departments now. Do you know what I mean? Because like they were just sick of this shit happening.
Yeah, just to prevent this from happening, essentially.
So many chief superintendents got divorced when their fucking credit card statement arrived in the post.
Yeah, it is bullshit. We don't get a scene of that cop and his fucking wife and him trying to explain, no, honestly, it's for an investigation.
Yeah.
Being told to fuck off just as roundly as Scott was for no, it's for the project.
Yeah.
Do not ask about the project.
No, I was solving a murder and I needed Sexy Sadie PLC's help. But yeah, like she fucking like the chief superintendent tries to talk to her and he's like absolutely shit at like questioning a fucking, you know, American porn star in real time. So she fucks him off and then they have to like go back on and get like someone who's more savvy with the net to talk to her. And she like keeps them talking for ages because she's charging by the minute. And then eventually gives them a PO box, but she doesn't actually give them the PO box. She tells them like the address was a PO box, and then and you'd think that's weird, wouldn't it? Just be an email address, but whatever.
Also, like while they're having this whole conversation, for some reason the main cop has like this weird transatlantic accent for some inscrutable reason.
Yeah,
it's so that she can understand them.
But yeah, she just mentions a PO box, and then like eventually, like, you know what I mean, and then she laughs at how she's charged them by the minute, and she didn't even have to take her knickers off, and then they hang up, and then the chief cop goes like, right, and look into that PO box, and it's like, well, she didn't tell you where it was, so
yeah, but look into it.
Yeah, but then the one cop who like turned up at the fucking college looking for the lad, he's a fucking killer net truther. He doesn't think the kid did it. He thinks there's more going on, and so
there's
he's
more
looking into like he's looking into like the victims from the game to see if they're really dead, and they aren't. So then he's like looking into like, you know, who made the game, and he tracks down the actor that played Mr. Dome to like Notting Hill or somewhere, isn't it? And
who cares? Like at this point, like,
and then he sends him off to like some fucking guy that shoots rock videos, and then like from there he ends up back in Brighton.
If this all sounds sort of convoluted and stupid, that's because it is, and like none of these scenes needed to be in the film. Like none of them, honestly.
Yeah, he finds the guy that ran like, because it turns out like fucking Mr. Dome, or the actor that played Mr. Dome, tells him that when they were shooting the thing, the director was like, you know what I mean, seemed quite bored until he noticed that the guy that owned the place had a computer game about stalking. And this is great, because they're talking about like how it was years ago, right? But he had like, you know, a game about stalking, and the guy played it and he was really, really good at it. And it's like, oh, he got the highest score ever. And it was like, how did you do that? And he's like, because I made the game. And then like they tracked down the company that released that game about stalking in 1984. and then like goes to where the guy that ran that company went bankrupt, but then they started another company, and he goes to talk to the guy from that company, and he explains that like fucking the Warlock is his former like fucking business partner, who was he was the money, and the Warlock was the tech brains behind it, and also a hacker, and like he made the game about stalking, and he was making CD-ROM games before CD-ROM games were a thing. And it's like, how exactly? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I really want to see the 1984 precursor to Killer Net, because like that would like running on the fucking like Commodore 64 or something. That would have been spectacular. Just Treasure Island Dizzy, but like, you know what I mean? You fucking in Brighton. And then so from there he tracks down the warehouse that the guy has his computers in. Meanwhile, the cops that are actually like turning up to work have cracked the case, and it turns out Paul Bettany was the one what done the murder.
Yeah, which is sort of so coming. I wrote it somewhere in my notes. It's like, oh, is Paul Bettany the murder man? But it's just like, at the same time, like by the time you get to the confession, which is like a very well acted scene, you know, we mentioned it at the front, like the crying and the, you know, him like breaking down. It's really well done. Like it's honestly, he's a fine actor, just utterly wasted.
The man is putting in work.
Yeah.
So then the murder's solved, but then like, you know, Mr. fucking Warlock Dome, or whatever the fuck he's called, is still on the loose, and he's still stalking the WPC, and so like. The cop at the warehouse sees like a fucking throne with a picture of Brighton Pier pinned to it. And he like sort of looks at that like, as you know, ooh, what could this mean? And then he tries to ring the policewoman at home to ask her if the pier is one of the body disposal sites in the game. But she's just left because she's got an identical photograph of the pier through a letterbox with like fucking, do you know what I mean? And this is from, you know, this cop who's out like doing like, you know, the fucking the PI routine of going from place to place looking for clues. He has a cell phone on him. And so, but she thinks it's perfectly normal for him to just put a fucking black and white photograph through a letterbox with like, meet me here at 1 p.m. written on it in Sharpie. Do you know what I mean? So she just leaves to go to that. Just after she leaves, her phone rings and the answer machine picks up. And then she presumably like forgot something because she comes back in, but gets to the answer machine just as the guy hangs up and then doesn't listen to the message.
Or does
it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like.
So she goes off to the pier where she meets the warlock, who like is pretending to be some sort of pier safety guy, and like, you know, they both. He gives her a hard hat and he tells her she'll be safe as long as she like, you know, sticks with him. And then they go down and they get to the building at the end of the pier. Meanwhile, the cops like fucking gone round to Matey's house, like the main character's house, to ask him about the game, and then he has like the moment of dramatic realization that like, which is so bizarre because it's like, surely you were working from the principle that like Charlotte died because he put like her fucking details into the game. So why does it take him so long to make the leap to, oh no, my girlfriend's about to be murdered because we put her details into the game because she was so keen to be murdered? But anyway, like he makes the connection, and then like, you know, him and like all the other police are like racing through Brighton, and as they're all running along the pier, like the policewoman's looking for him in the creepy room full of abandoned puppets.
Like casino at the end of the pier or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, which is just entirely full of.
In order to get the Killer Net high score, you have to burn down one of the Brighton piers.
Yeah. But she's in there surrounded by creepy dolls, and like she's like shouting his name, and then the warlock pops out and says like, he's behind you, and she turns around and it's a fucking like, there's a camcorder recording, and he puts on a big fucking like wooden mask that he gets off the wall, and then swings a hammer at the woman wearing a hard hat that he gave her.
Yeah, it seems
But you know what I mean. Anyway, he probably like sent her in ahead of him. Like, you know, he sent her in on her own so that he had time to drink like a bunch of fucking potions of ogre strength or something like that, so he could just crack straight through the hard hat. And so he's murdering her, and like the cops are all running down the pier, and then they get there, and he's presumably swam away at that point, but left the recording.
Yeah,
like, the camcorder's still there.
He simply made his way to the nearest exit, Jamie. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also
Just
drinking lots of skooma.
Yeah. So he like fucking he presumably just took the tape out of the camcorder and swam away, and then the cop like all the cops run in, led by like fucking, you know, the fucking actual detective, and he's like, you hear him go, no, really dramatically. It's fucking great.
Yeah, the no is very good. It's very good. It's very nice.
So fucking funny. I mean, I don't think me pissing myself was what they were aiming for at that point, but you know, that's what they got.
No. That was a feat that wouldn't be repeated until Star Wars Episode 3.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's the natural end point of the show, so naturally it goes on for another fucking 10 minutes. Like you have to find out what's happening to the main character, and he's now like he fucking hooks up with Paul Bettany's girlfriend because Paul Bettany's in too much jail. Can't look after her or something, I don't know. And then like they're all sad about like what happened, and he punches the couch like really dramatically, and the cops do an appeal. Have you seen this warlock? If you have seen this warlock, call the police.
Any warlock
offers you a video game. Do not play the video game.
Yeah, we want him in connection with the.
Now I want to play the video game.
I know, we want him in connection with a game called Killer Net on a CD-ROM. If you see this CD-ROM, do not play it.
Yeah, and then, if you see this CD-ROM or this man, call the nearest Ordo Malleus to you. Like,
the main character takes all that to heart and goes to the top of a building.
That's not yet though, because like
right, yeah.
no, yeah, he does. Yeah, he goes up and he throws. He's had enough of his computer because it's only brought him evil. The internet has only brought evil into his life, and so he solves that problem by throwing his fucking CRT monitor off the roof.
Yeah, logging off.
Yeah.
Not the computer, just the monitor. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And
I was just seeing here going, don't throw that off the roof. Like, you know, in you don't know this, but in 30 years, people are going to be like trying to make arcade cabinets at home, and those things are going to be worth a fucking fortune.
Yeah. Also, it's not the bit that
if you
connects to
throw
the
that
internet.
too far, it will clave your car in fucking half.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, to be fair, I'd defy anyone to throw that too far. It'd be a challenge to throw it far enough, you know. We notably don't. We see him getting up on the roof, and it's like, oh, is he going to jump? I don't care. But no, then we cut to just the fucking like the CRT like just arcing over the fucking edge of the roof, and it's like he didn't fucking throw that. There's a trebuchet up there.
Yeah, he's laying siege to that pier where the murder happened.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
it's
then
only
we
the
cut
90s.
to
It was the first prototype of the Brexit railgun that would come in later. Used so much later.
Yeah, and then we cut to the police doing their appeal, you know, and then and it's revealed that like the warlock is watching the appeal, and then he like fucking, do you know what I mean? He turns that off, and it's like, okay, well, and then he's immediately revealed to be in America, so like, how is he watching the?
Yeah,
like,
you can tell he's in America because of all the big red, white, and blue banners everywhere.
Yeah, but like, how is he getting a fucking like, you know what I mean? Surrey police. Fucking in 1998, how is he getting a Surrey police press conference piped to like his TV in America?
Justin.tv, probably.
He used the big screwdriver to put in the MPEG card, and now it's fine.
Yeah, but then he like gets up and like weirdly like the set has like a big fucking thing that looked like it was out of The Crow in the background there for some reason, like a big fucking burning.
I was
bird
too
on the
distracted by the extreme achievement of whatever audio engineer they hired to sentence mix KillerNet UK into KillerNet USA.
Oh,
yes,
man.
oh that's fantastic.
USA,
yeah.
USA, fucking constantly.
Yeah, he plays Mr. Dome saying like, well, KillerNet UK, and then rewinds it and then plays it again. But holy shit, he's got an American accent now that doesn't lip sync at all. It's like, would it not be better? Would it not be easier to just hire? They have bald men in America. I've seen them. Just hire one of them. Like, but anyway, then he's in a studio with like 3 American girls. I'm gonna American girls and then like with a little fucking asterisk at the end because the accents were kind of fucking like hamming it up a bit. I think they might have filmed that bit in Brighton as well, like, but
yeah.
But they're in front of like a big.
I'm from Texas and I love being murdered.
Yeah, they're in front of a big fucking American flag and I think the Texas flag, maybe.
I don't know what who cares?
Yeah,
America isn't real. States aren't real. They can also go suck it.
But and then he like, you know, they all sit down and do the introductions and he's filming them because it's KillerNet USA and like, oh, as if anyone could give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's a video game that murders people in America. It's got a lot of competition.
Other problems.
Yeah, they've got more to worry about, frankly. Even in 1998, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Imagine turning up at like your high school with like, you know, Linda LaPlante's KillerNet, you know, CD-ROM game extraordinaire, and like you've killed 2 people. And everybody just goes, well, you know, I'm sorry, but you know, but for me it was Tuesday. Like,
oh, and that's it. That was KillerNet.
Yeah,
what did we learn?
We all learned a thing or two about how evil the internet is, and I mean, just. If you let people on the internet murder things, they would like murder things. Like, holy shit, this is revelatory. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the internet is simply the cause for murder, and you know it's time for it to stop. Yeah. That's not the official position of this podcast.
The official position of this podcast has been end the internet for some time now. To be fair.
Yeah, it's fucking. I mean, just absolute piss, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
But the like, you know, patient zero for every bad fucking episode of television you've ever seen that like involves the internet somehow. This is where it began. whenever you watch like that bit in CSI New York where they have a foot chase through Second Life, or like that bit in, I want to say also CSI New York where someone says they'll write a fucking like a JavaScript backdoor in Visual Basic or some shit like that. You know, like, or any fucking thing where like any fucking fear.com style enterprise where someone's going to be murdered on the internet if they get enough likes or anything like that. This is what, you know, this is who you've got to blame for it. Thanks, Linda LaPlante.
Cheers, Linda.
Yeah, and also
maybe the real killer net is social media. Did you ever think of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, you know, maybe this was a whole bunch of piss, but now, retroactively, at episode 300, you may have a greater understanding of some of the strange jokes that we've been making on and off on this fucking podcast forever.
Probably not, though.
No, probably not.
Yeah, well, when we get to episode 400, we'll spin the big board of ideas of big things to do for... You know, centenary episodes, and maybe 300 will be on there because then that'll be the last thing you expect, but maybe not. Enjoy.
Yeah. 350 we'll dredge up some other shit we've made stupid jokes about twice or something. You know what I mean? Like,
no, we won't. If you hadn't noticed, this is quite clearly a mark of downturning quality. So, like, expect 4 and 500 to pass by it completely unacknowledged.
Anyway, sign up for the Patreon. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Patreon.com/PracticeCast. 2 episodes and such likes. We have such sites to show you.
Access to.
Yeah.
Join us on
actually,
the Discord.
Yeah, if you want our actual like hot US election takes, you have to sign up to the Patreon because that's the only place you're going to get it.
Yeah.
They're very important.
That episode is coming out minutes after this one, but it is a Patreon exclusive just purely because of how the numbers shook out.
Yep.
Oh, them's the breaks.
So instead of our finely honed analysis, you get this pile of piss.
Yeah, so sign up to the Patreon. Merch is also available, practicecast.tmail.com, and there will sometimes be Twitch streams on some Thursdays, maybe. Twitch.tv/practicecast.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.